What's up, it's your boy Luke. A brand new episode of Family Talk starts now. Hey, what's up, it's your boy Luke, and welcome to another episode of Family Talk. Today is a really good episode because not only is it Valentine's Day, but it is Black History Month. So I figured, why not go ahead and talk about Black sitcoms? So join me for Volume 4 Special, Episode 3, Black Favorite Sitcoms, Black History Month, and Valentine's Day Special. So I got a lot of sitcoms that I wrote down and did some research on, and the stats and the shows and all the information I have about the shows came from Google and complex.com. So I'm going from order because I'm not even going to do that with y'all. I'm not even going to do the black, like my black favorite sitcoms. Like these are like general black favorite sitcoms because these are not all black sitcoms, but these are like the ones that people know are like more known or more favorited by the culture, by our culture, by the black culture. So first is Sanford and Son, which lasted 6 seasons for 5 years, premiered in 1972. My dad loves Sanford and Son. He still watches Sanford and Son as if it's airing new. Like if it's airing as if it's airing new episodes. So yeah, that's his show. And Good Times, coincidentally, which is next, which came out in 1974 and ran for 6 seasons. And then The Jeffersons. So The Jeffersons, let's see, they premiered in 1975. So if I do my math, so yeah, for 30 years, 30 plus years, The Jeffersons was the longest running black sitcom because they aired for 11 seasons, a total of 253 episodes for 10 years, from 1975 to 1985. And I'll tell you at the end who has beat them as far as the amount of episodes and honestly, or excuse me, as well as amount of seasons. So yeah, we'll come back to that. And then what's happening, so they totaled for a total of 6 seasons if you're counting their spinoff, but what's happening, the original show, that aired for 3 seasons and then started for 3 years in 1976, and then they came back with what's happening now for 3 seasons and for 3 years starting in 1985. So my thing, and then I'm gonna give what I thought about these shows. So let's go back to Sanford and Son. Sanford and Son I thought was funny, right? Like, yeah, you can't really, that's a classic. And then Good Times, everybody loves JJ. And then I feel like some of the most memorable or one of the most memorable moments is, what happened with Penny, so, which is unfortunate, but it's something that, is very memorable from that show. And then the Jeffersons, I haven't watched the Jeffersons, like, consistently. Like, it's kind of harder to watch shows consistently after they air. Like, now, we have streaming services, you know what I mean? So that's a blessing. But, like, how I was introduced to these shows was through syndication. So, syndication, they just air it randomly. I mean, depending on the network, sometimes they air it, episode by episode, or try to keep, the same similar episodes within that season and then go on to the next season. But a lot of the times, these networks, they air these shows, they air the episodes randomly. So it's hard to, keep up with the story and what's going on in each season and each episode in order. So, but so I don't think I watched the full Jeffersons series. So yeah, but I did see an interview with, I forget her name, but the actor who played Wheezy, she said they never got a finale, which I didn't know, and then which I don't think is fair because they lasted 10 years for 11 seasons for over 250 episodes. Like, obviously they have an audience that's invested, you know what I mean? So the characters and then the audience, they deserve to see a finale. So yeah, that's definitely not fair. And then what's happening, I didn't really watch what's happening now a whole lot. I watch what's happening more, and of course, it seems like with any show, whether if it's a sitcom or not, either the first and second season or the first or second season are the best seasons. So for me, what's happening, the original series or the original sitcom, the first and second season was my favorite season. So yeah, and then 227, which aired for 5 years and premiered in 1985. I don't think I watched all 5 seasons, or at least every episode of every season. I do know when I watched it, though, I think it was probably like one of the last seasons, or if not the last season, I noticed that they switched up the cast. And whenever they switch up cast, and it's usually, and I'm talking about specifically towards the end of series, and especially when I don't know what's going on as far as story-wise, I'm like, why'd they do that? You know what I mean? So, yeah, so I don't know exactly really what the story was with that season or those seasons, but yeah, I do know 227 has always been one of my favorite black sitcoms. So yeah, if I didn't say that before, premiered in 1985 and lasted for 5 years. And then Amen. I don't think I watched all of Amen as well, but I know the gist of it. I know it was funny, and I know that I think her name was Velma, something like that. If I'm getting her name wrong. She was trying to, go after the pastor, or I think I called him Pastor Reverend, which I know who I'm talking about. And they ended up getting married, so I know that. But that lasted 5 seasons for 5 years, premiered in 1986. And then right after that, A Different World, which is still being talked about now. It's very huge in culture, especially black college culture. Like, I don't know any other show that's talked about going to HBCU or any other black sitcom. So, yeah. And then I also want to give Lisa Bonet her flowers, because that was a spinoff from The Cosby Show, and she was only on there for 1 season. So without her, like, that show wouldn't have even come about. At least it wouldn't have been a spinoff from Cosby, you know what I mean, from The Cosby Show, because it was about her, you know what I mean, going to college. So it just ended up she didn't stay on the show. So yeah, definitely want to give her flowers because she was the main character. So yeah, I don't think people, really say that, but I can't remember her name, but she just won an Emmy. The woman who was a character Whitley, which everybody knows and loves. She just won her first Emmy. She was just on the Sherry Show saying that I think she was giving Lisa Bonet her flowers, because I think people forget, you know what I mean, that she's the reason why the show, she was the main character, you know what I mean? So yeah, so that show premiered in 1987, lasted 6 years and 6 seasons. And then Family Matters premiered in 1989. And I don't think people talk about that either. Like, I did not know that. Family Matters lasted for 9 seasons and 9 years. So basically, they ended the 80s. They started airing at the end of the 80s and at the end of the 90s. So, yeah. I always love that show. I can't remember which episode it was. I feel like it was first season, second season. Definitely in the beginning. I don't remember which one it was, but I remember which episode it was. But I remember it was Urkel. He was dancing, and they was like doing the Urkel dance, do the Urkel. That was the episode that I remember the most. I don't know if I could say favorite, because I have so many favorites of that show. But luckily, BET is doing a really good job. And I think VH1 too, because we literally have less than 10 networks that are black, but I'll go ahead and list those off. So of course we got BET, VH1, TV1, OWN, WeTV now, I believe, is a black network, and then Aspire, and then Bounce. So that's 7. So yeah, but I said I'd like to say I think BET is doing a really good job of keeping these black shows in syndication, especially Martin. I know Family Matters is syndication on there too. I think Sister. I can't remember exactly. And then, of course, some other shows are in syndication as well on other networks. So, but yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to BET for that, because, yeah, Family Matters is like the second longest running black sitcom. So, or third, excuse me. So, yeah, second or third, something like that. And then the year after, 1990, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air aired. It premiered and aired for 6 seasons and 6 years, and everybody's still talking about that. That was like Will Smith's. I think that's how we kind of came to know him. Like, of course, he had music, and now he's a Grammy award-winning artist. But I mean, I feel like that's what people know him from first, as far as at least TV. So yeah. And then, of course, yeah, which is different, which I'm glad it worked out, you know what I mean? I think this is the first time that any sitcom, no matter if it's from a black sitcom or not, I think this is the first time any sitcoms come back for a reboot, and they rebooted the show, but it's a drama now. So Fresh Prince of Bel-Air came back for a reboot, I think in 2021. I know it was fairly recent, and they're going into their 3rd season. But it's aired 2 seasons so far. But yeah, it's a drama now, and it's called Bel Air on Peacock, and it's apparently it's doing well because they're getting ready to film their 3rd season, which took so long to get ready to film because of the strike. But yeah, so yeah, and then Living Single. Oh no, excuse me. Let me see. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so then 2 years later, in 1992, Martin, which everybody loves, aired for 5 years and 5 seasons, which is just, hilarious to me. Because I feel like the shows I like a lot, or like, I won't say I like a lot, but just in general, you can kind of tell when stuff is ad-libbed, which I like because it feels like it's more in the moment, it's more natural, and it's more, it catches the characters off guard, so you see them getting ready to break character, or even sometimes it takes in to where they do break character. So I think that's always funny. And then of course everybody remembers and loves Shanae. Like yeah, so yeah, he did a lot of cool stuff. And I don't know if people give him his credit enough because, and I'm talking about like, so I guess that would be a black sitcom too. I guess I just thought of In Living Color as its own, thing, but yeah, it was a sitcom. It's really the black SNL. I was about to say that was like the first time that one person did so many characters. So I mean, like, I don't even know the technical terminology for it, but I guess because in Living Color, like all the actors played different characters, so that's a whole different thing. But I'm talking about like a show that has like the same characters. Martin is the first person as far as like black sitcoms go. Let me go back through here, unless I'm missing some shows and stuff like that, because I told you in the beginning that these are not all the black sitcoms, but the most known and pretty much almost all of them, most of them. But he's the first one that I can remember that did multiple characters on his show. That's a black sitcom. And then, I'm not talking about plays or movies, which would eliminate Tyler Perry's movies and plays, and Martin with Big Mama. Oh, yeah, and then he did Big Mama, so, yeah. So, yeah, I think he was the first one to do that, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, and then after that, so these are in exact order as far as premiere dates, because some of these shows premiere in the same year, even the same month, but I made sure that I researched that, so these are in the exact order. So then after that is Hanging with Mr. Cooper, which premiered that same year in 1992, and they had the same run as Martin. Premiered in 1992, aired for 5 years, 5 seasons. Hanging with Mr. Cooper, I still love watching Hanging with Mr. Cooper. I'm trying to, let's see, I don't know if I have any like most memorable episodes. I just remember it being really funny. And I really learned about all these shows really as a little kid too, because some kids they wouldn't know what to do without cable or even like streaming services. So when I was younger, we didn't have cable, and they didn't really. I know Netflix has been around for a while, but it wasn't really known like that when I was like this age. You know what I mean? I'm talking like single digits. So I'm not even talking about when I was 10. So. And then to give you some reference, I turned 10 in 2009. So like 2009 and prior, this is when I got introduced to these shows, and I was watching these shows, a lot of these shows. So yeah, we didn't have cable, and streaming services weren't really around besides Netflix, like I said, which didn't become popular until later. So we had DVD players and DVDs. So that's how I got to know specifically what's happening in 227, and then Good Times, and Martin, oh God, and Living Color. I remember watching those. I remember staying with a family member, my brother and I, and we were kids, and I don't know if we had something to do, whether we were supposed to go to church the next morning or something, we had to do, because we would usually stay over on the weekend, so we would pretty much get to stay up until, we wanted to, unless we had something to do, so we probably had to go to church or something the next day. But I remember our aunt, she, we were staying with her. Me and my brother and I were staying with her for the weekend. And she had the sleep timer on so we can go to sleep at a certain time. But I remember, because my brother, he got 5 years on me, so he was older. I remember he would restart the sleep timer because she would be in another room, so he would just restart it. And she'd be like, oh, it didn't go off yet? We were like, no, it still didn't go off. So, yeah, I remember that. So, yeah, definitely had good memories about a lot of these shows. This is how I got introduced to these shows. So I said all that to say, if I had cable, I probably wouldn't have known about these shows the way I got to know about them. You know what I mean? So I got to really, my love for black entertainment and really TV in general and sitcoms and black television really got started when I was young because, we didn't have cable at first. So, yeah, and really, it was me going over to my aunt's or my grandmother's house, and watching these DVDs because we had, cartoons at home. We didn't really have, DVDs, with black sitcoms, stuff like that. But I know my aunts and my grandmother, they were really good about collecting movies, and we went to the library to rent movies, and oh my God, I missed it so much. Family Video and Blockbuster, I missed that, you know what I mean? Redbox, and then now the streaming services have taken over all of that. But I do like going in. I did like going in and being able to actually pick out a movie and then being excited about it coming out, and because this is in the movie theater, but for whatever reason, we didn't get to see that specific movie, even though we went to the movies a lot. Then it will come out, and so I do miss that. I wish there was a way to bring that back, but it's kind of hard. It will be hard to bring that back because all those movies are really, you know what I mean? They have so much access. We have so much access to movies, and I think movies even come out, when movies are in movie theaters, whether it did well or not, even when it stays in the movie theater for a while, it still comes out to DVD or on digital fairly fast now. It used to be months and months and months for a movie to come out on DVD. You know what I mean? So it's much quicker now. So I don't really know. Only way I can think that they can do that, Family Video, something like that, or Blockbuster again, is if they got the movies faster. For some reason, the studios or, the companies doing these movies will give them the DVDs faster. That's the only thing I can really think of. Because they even got video on demand. So even if you have cable, you can rent movies through that. You know what I mean? So, and then people, if they, Redbox is still in business. So, but I think a part of them being in business is them selling movies for a good deal. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know if it's because some people don't want certain streaming services, or I don't know. But Redbox is still in business. But listen, I won't say that. I was gonna say you reap what you sow, but business is business. Redbox, they kind of put Family Video and Blockbuster out of business, and now it seems like these streaming services, they might be doing the same with Redbox. So, yeah. But, let me go back to these shows. So then, the year after, in 1993, which I literally just finished watching from episode 1 till the final episode, Living Single, which I had never done. I watched Living Single as a kid, but I never, as far as season to season, episode, in order, I never did that. And I'm going back, I'm like, this was a good show. The stories are really, really good. The jokes were hilarious. And we need to be clear. Definitely want to give Living Single flowers because they don't get their flowers or recognition. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I apologize. But I do not believe that the show or the crew or the cast got any Emmys or any Emmy nominations. I know they didn't get any Emmys, and I could be wrong, but I do not remember hearing about that. I don't know. I don't remember hearing that at all, whether if it was in the past or even currently. So I know that Friends, they were nominated and won. I don't know how many that show got, including the cast and the crew, but I know Phoebe's character, she won an Emmy. But I said that to say, Living Single walked so Friends can run. Literally, Living Single was on the same network as Friends, premiered the year before, and the what is it called? The plot is extremely similar. Living Single is about 6 friends that live in New York. Friends is about 6 friends that live in New York. In the 90s, both shows in the 90s because they premiered a year apart. And Living Single aired not only on the same network, but on the same nights as Friends did. So, yeah. But yeah, but it lasted half the time, half the season. So I don't, yeah. But I'm just saying, everybody loves Friends, and I love Friends too. I watched it all the way through before. No hate to them. Really just really behind the scenes, and I guess the network and people, powers that be. But yeah, I definitely think Living Single should have been taken care of more, and definitely cherished more and talked about more. Like, we're not talking about Living Single as much as we're talking about Friends, if not more. Come on now. You know what I mean? Like, literally, like, there would, you know what I mean? And then, like, I forget what her name is. I think her name is Wendy Raquel Williams. I know she's from The Game and from the Steve Harvey Show, so I know y'all know who I'm talking about. She did an interview with, I think, Bill Bellamy on a podcast, and was saying a lot of these startup networks would use, their first shows would be black sitcoms, because they knew that's how they can pull in an audience. So once they would get that audience and get the ratings, then they would try to push these black shows out. So I'm just like, and that's what happened. That's from what I remember seeing different interviews, what happened with Living Single. Or I don't know if it was Living Single or another show. But yeah, I know some networks did that. And believe it or not, because Fox is like this huge network now, I know I don't think people know this. Like Martin, like even talking about syndication, Fox didn't get syndication until Martin. So many people from so many different cities and different places were trying to watch Martin that they had to syndicate it. It had to be available in different markets because so many different people wanted to watch it. So Fox became syndicated because people were trying to watch Martin. So yeah, and I feel like, I don't know if I'm mistaken. I don't know if Living Single aired on Fox or I don't know. But as much as people talked about Friends ratings being good, which you can't, a fact is a fact, and there's nothing against them. I love Friends. I love the characters, and I love the actors. But Living Single was outdoing Martin, and we love Martin, so I'm just giving y'all some reference to how well Living Single and how much it meant to the culture and how much it helped Friends. And then also Sister was having higher ratings than Friends as well. So yeah, so let me go ahead and keep. And yeah, actually, I'm right in order. Sister actually premiered the year after Living Single, which actually Sister and Friends premiered in the same year in 1994. And I don't think Sister did a lot. A lot of these shows, a lot of these sitcoms, not even just black sitcoms, but well, yeah, I guess kind of black sitcoms. They usually last 5 seasons, and Sister lasted for 6 seasons. For 5 years, 1994 through 1999. For their show to do better, to get 6 seasons for one, and then for it to be doing better in as far as ratings wise than Friends, I don't know for how long or whatever, but to be able to say that period, okay, I wasn't even, when Friends went off, I was 5. That was the year I turned 5. So this is just stuff I've heard, people say in interviews and stuff like that. So I know Friends ratings was crazy. They said, I remember that. But yeah, Sister came back and basically had like this boom, like a whole nother boom when they were on Disney Channel. Disney Channel picked them up. I don't remember which year, but in the 2000s, and they syndicated them. So they had a whole new audience. And then I don't know exactly if that's how, and I feel like it kind of could be because they were adults, you know what I mean? So I feel like that could be a part of the reason why Twitches and Twitches 2 happened, because those were Disney Channel movies and Sisters on Disney Channel. And then, yeah, that was like in the same time frame. I think within like years, you know what I mean? So, listen, and I'm saying that's, to be a good thing, you know what I mean? Because who doesn't love Twitches and Twitches 2? And why didn't they do a Twitches 3? I think they should. I think they still can do a Twitches 3. I would freaking love that. But yeah. So then the year after, the Wayans Bros, they lasted for 5 years. For 5 seasons and 4 years, which premiered in 1995. And I'm laughing because it instantly, when I say the Wayans Bros, I'm thinking of their theme song. We're brothers, we're happy, and we're colored. I remember my brother and I, we used to play around and sing that. So yeah. I remember that being funny, and their father, which was the same father of Craig in Friday, the Friday movie. So, yeah, definitely a funny show. And then Steve Harvey Show premiered the year after in 1996 and lasted 6 seasons for 6 years. And I don't think people talk about the Steve Harvey Show either. Like, for a show to last for 5+ seasons and 5+ years, like that's definitely saying something. You know what I mean? So I remember watching the Steve Harvey Show, and did she call? I think his nick was what? Didn't she call him Cedric the Entertainer? And can't remember. I know Vaughn. I can't remember her first name, but the actor or the actress who played Cedric the Entertainer's girlfriend. But I know they had a nickname, and I know they were very cutesy. I remember that, and I thought that was very funny and cool in that show. And then Moesha premiered the same year in 1996, lasted for 5 years, 6 seasons. I didn't know about the finale of Moesha until I heard about it in interviews, because, that show was in syndication too, so I didn't watch it in order, which I still can go back and watch it now. I mean, thankfully now, I can watch these shows, because in doing research on these shows, I don't think there's any show that is not on a streaming platform, because when I looked it up, it showed me, where to watch and stuff like that. So and you could actually go back and watch all these shows, you know what I mean, in order, or however many seasons or episodes we want to watch. So that's great, because I remember when we first got cable, like, you would have to just watch TV, you know what I mean? Like, you would just have to watch it as it airs. So you would try to, watch it, or we finally got DVR, you can record it, but then you would want to make sure you record it, so I would go through the guide or whatever and see what's coming up. I'm like, oh, let me record that because that's my favorite episode, because on demand has really started to suck. Like, it used to be so much better, and they would update it with new episodes as they aired. On demand is yeah. And I'm talking about on demand, like, cable, and then you go on demand, so, because I know they call it, like, video on demand, so I'm talking about on demand, so, yeah. So then the Jamie Foxx show, I thought it was funny. I don't remember watching a whole lot of it, because I feel like when I was watching, I was young, but yeah, that aired the same year, premiered the same year in 1996, lasted for 5 seasons and 5 years, so yeah, that was a good show, and that's funny. And then whenever you get a show with your name in it, the Wayans Bros, the Steve Harvey Show, the Jamie Foxx, the Jamie Foxx Show, Martin, yeah, let me see, shows after that, and then the Bernie Mac Show, you know what I mean, and then Everybody Hates Chris, I think that says a lot whenever you get a show with your name in it, so, yeah. And then, that's what I was about to say before I go on to the next show. Yeah, I didn't know Moesha ended with Miles, her, little brother running away, and then her dad having a past affair, and then the guy who played, I think, her cousin, which is her brother in real life, Ray J, is actually her brother. I'm like, why would y'all end the show like that? You know what I mean? I remember the actor who plays the father did an interview was saying, why take such a, a noble character, or, because he was known as, like, the good father, the active father, the present father, so why take that and low-key kind of, like, tarnish it, you know what I mean? So, yeah, they definitely need to get that right. And we need to stop having conversations to actually see these shows come to work. Come on now. Got all these other shows that ain't about nothing and is not entertaining that they making, so, yeah. And I think we definitely can use some black sitcom newness and reboots. You know what I mean? I feel like reality TV, I like certain reality TV shows, but we need to even it out. You know what I mean? Reality TV can be a lot. It would be nice to have some black sitcoms in there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I know a lot of black sitcoms aired from the 70s to the early 2000s or the 2000s, and then reality TV really started to, I feel like, as far as, like, black reality TV really started to boom in the 2010s type, you know what I mean? Like, around the time was really when it started to boom. So, yeah. And then Smart Guy, which I don't understand why it only lasted 3 seasons, but, yeah, I definitely would like to go back and watch that consistently, because I just remember watching episodes here and there. But I don't think people give Taj Mowry his credits. And this is no shade. This is just actually what it is as far as time-wise. And these are the facts. If it wasn't for Taj, Sister wouldn't happen, because Taj started acting before Tia and Tamera. So he was on, everybody remembers Teddy from Full House. So he was on Full House, and Tia and Tamera were on set, and I don't remember exactly what they said and how the conversation went, but pretty much a producer wanted to make a show around them. So if it hadn't been for him acting and then them being on set while he was, playing the Teddy character on Full House, Sister wouldn't have happened. You know what I mean? So I thought it was the other way around. You know what I mean? I thought, those are his older sisters and we know them. So now he's acting. But no, that's not the case. So I think that's really cool. Because usually when you hear siblings in entertainment and they do shows or whatever, or TV shows or whatever project it is, it's usually the older sibling is the reason why we know the younger sibling, or they did it first. You know what I mean? So actually it was the younger sibling in this case. So I thought that was cool. But yeah, Smart Guy definitely was a good show. I loved it. Lasted 3 seasons, aired for 2 years, premiered in 1997, and then The Parkers. I don't remember exactly. I know it's been within this decade, so past couple years or so, I went back and watched The Parkers consistently, and I was like, oh, this was a good show. Like, it was like funny, and are we not going to talk about the looks that Monique had? And literally, I watched all the shows like within like a short time frame. I watched every episode and every season. She had a different hairstyle every episode. That's 5 seasons over 100 episodes. So, yeah. With different clothes, so different looks, the whole 9. So, yeah. I don't think, and I say that to say because usually, people who are big and tall or plus size, we don't usually get that type of love as far as like glam-wise, hair and clothes and stuff like that. So for her to carry that show, you know what I mean, and show she was the main character, and then, yeah. So I'm like, yeah, she did that. Monique definitely did that. I will say that. But yeah, that show lasted for 5 seasons, aired for 5 years, premiered in 1999, the year I was born. So yeah, I thought that was cool. Very funny. How it ended, I like the ending. I definitely like the ending. And then Girlfriends, I didn't really watch Girlfriends a whole lot, but we can't negate the fact that they aired for 8 seasons and lasted for 8 seasons and aired for 8 years. Like, we can't negate that. They premiered in 2000. So yeah, and I heard that it wasn't like, I don't know if I didn't watch the full interview, but I heard that they weren't supposed to end when they ended. So I think I remember them saying like they had more episodes that they were supposed to shoot, or that they shot, they didn't air it, or something happened to where there were more episodes, but the show just ended up ending. So yeah, it's always unfortunate when shows don't get proper endings or endings at all. Like The Jeffersons lasted for 10 years and aired 11 seasons. So there's no, you know what I mean? Because if you want to cancel a show for whatever reason, with 11 seasons, you would know that when you about to cancel a show. You know what I mean? Like, so they could have definitely have done that. So yeah, and then right after that, the year after that, 2001, My Wife and Kids, which I'm actually coincidentally am watching now, and I'm on 2nd season, which I didn't know all the 1st season that Claire was a whole different character. I thought that was just a pilot because I saw an episode with a different actor that played Claire. But yeah, no, I didn't know that. But yeah, so yeah, 2nd season, the actor who played Claire for the rest of the show, she started acting on that show. So yeah, My Wife's Kids lasted for 4 years, for 5 seasons, and then the Bernie Mac show that same year, premiered in 2001, lasted for 5 seasons and lasted for 5 years. And I'm laughing because I can hear him now. I remember my brother and I, we both used to watch that show. And I think my brother used to do an impression of Bernie Mac, which I thought was hilarious. Excuse me. Because we are America. Can you believe that this happened? I can't even believe that Vanessa's trying to do this to baby girl. Like, it was so funny. It was just really funny. And I don't know exactly what those shows are called to where there's no audience or a laugh track. But I know that, so there wasn't any laughter. So it was still funny. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And then 4 years later, in 2005, Everybody Hates Chris premiered and lasted for 4 seasons and for 4 years, which Chris Rock pretty much said without saying it. And this is what happens in general with, yeah. But he was, I think he was on The Breakfast Club, and Charlamagne, the guy, was asking him, why didn't Everybody Hates Chris last longer? Why didn't they come back for a 5th season? And, Chris Rock was saying, a lot of people didn't come to love the show until it was either going off or it was already off. You know what I mean? That's when people started really liking it and the numbers got high. But by that time, the character who plays Chris, which now he plays, I forget his name. I just heard his name because I was watching the trailer for the new Abbott Elementary season. I forget his name, but the black teacher on there, he plays that character now, which Abbott Elementary is done crazy as far as number-wise and rating-wise and award nominations and award wins, you know what I mean? So, yeah. But yeah, he said he got older, and then, yeah, so it just kind of didn't make sense to bring the show back after, So I get that. Some people, and I said that to say, back to what I was saying at first, some people, they don't support what you're doing until after it's over, you know what I mean? So whether it be a show, or, because I know one of my shows I ended before, I was told that the numbers were doing something different than what they were doing before I ended it. But of course, before I ended it, they didn't tell me what the numbers were doing. You know what I mean? So maybe I could have just took a hiatus, or maybe I could have, you know what I mean? So, yeah, sometimes that happens. Some people start liking the show when it's over, or it's about to be over, So, yeah, that makes it hard for it to come back sometimes, because certain stuff it would kind of be hard to come back for certain stuff. I don't know. There's a lot that can go into that, so I can get that. But yeah, Everybody Hates Chris was sad but funny. I think he definitely was able to tell his story, because the story is really about Chris Rock's life. He's able to tell his story, which was full of a lot of tragedy with a lot of comedy. Because we all remember, Rochelle, played by Tashina Arnold. She she always was like, my man got 2 jobs. I don't need this. And then Terry Crews would, I don't what did he would say? I think that's what I remember though. I said, my man got 2 jobs. I don't need this. But yeah, everybody was on their P's and Q's playing that show. Or they was doing their good work. I say that, definitely. So, yeah, then, let me see. In 2006, which I thought was 2007. But this is from Google. No shade to Google, because Google helps out a lot. But sometimes Google stuff be off just a little bit. So I promise you I remember watching this show in 2007. I promise you I do. Could be wrong. Either or. It could be a year off or not. But according to Google, House of Pain, which people do not talk about, House of Pain premiered in 2006. And their first run was 8 seasons, 217 episodes for 6 years. And now it's in its second run, so this is kind of like a fast reboot, which I am happy about, because it went out for 2012 and then came back in 2020. So that's less than a whole decade. You know what I mean? So Tyler Perry brought that show back pretty fast, which obviously people wanted to see it because, which I didn't know this until now, they aired 4 seasons since 2020, which is when they came back with the reboot, and they already had 99 episodes. So they're already like 100 episodes in, and they haven't aired a new season yet this year in 2024. So this is just 2020 to 2023 that they've aired 4 seasons for 99 episodes. So the whole total is 12 seasons and 308 episodes total. And they're still in production, because I literally just saw China McClain, who plays Jasmine. She just posted a video about her and the actor who plays Malik. And I'm laughing because the nature of the video, which I'm going to tell you about. They were just on set. And she was like, hey, bro. He was like, hey. And she was like, what are you doing? He was like, going over these lines. Because I didn't read them before I got here. And they both start laughing. And then China was like, oh, yeah, first time reading them, huh? You read them for the first time this morning, huh? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've definitely been there as far as, like, not lines, because only, like, as far as, like, not being prepared, or, because when I did one play, I had a short part in there, I did a stage play, so that was definitely rehearsed. But when I was in, I call it drama class, but it's really called theater, same difference to me. You got a new script every week. Some scripts are short, some scripts are long. So, and then for me, for whatever reason, at least at the time, maybe if I act in the future, that'll be different. But it was very hard for me to remember my lines. I mean, for me to memorize my lines when my scene partner wasn't there. So it was very hard for me because for me to memorize something, which I've learned. So like even for auditions or something like that, I have to say it out loud. And if I have a scene partner, if I'm going off of their cues, basically, because when we're doing the scene, we're not acting off of the paper anymore. We're not acting off the script. So if I'm saying this and this is where I'm putting it down, putting my line down, and then you say this after I put that down, that helps me to remember what I'm supposed to say after you get done finished talking. But if I'm rehearsing by myself, I don't know when you're supposed to come in and when, you know what I mean? So it was always hard for me to rehearse without my scene partner, being there, whether they were sick or something or like that. So it was always hard for me to do that. I couldn't truly memorize what I was saying until we were actually able to rehearse. So, yeah. But I don't think I've, I can tell it now because it's already over. I remember, because I was the president for my gospel choir my senior year of high school. And we would, I would be a part of, like, selecting the music. Like, there's some songs that I would bring. But you were supposed to know the songs. You were supposed to, remember the songs. So I remember being in the car on the way to school. I'm like, oh, I don't know these words. So I would literally be in the car singing along to the song. And that's how I would memorize it. So the thing I learned, I can memorize music extremely fast and faster than a script. Like, I remember us learning a song, like the whole choir. We learned the song in 15 minutes, like from top to finish. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how. You know what I mean? Because we only went over it so many times. 15 minutes, that's like 5 times. To remember a whole song, like notes, lyrics, whole nine. But thankfully it wasn't it was like for like a one-off thing. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like a full show. It was like either for like the national anthem or something like that. But yeah, that would happen a lot. Well, not a lot, but that's happened a few times with that choir teacher. Like, we would have to learn that song fairly fast, and then I remember we had to go over, because I remembered it, but it wasn't committed to memory per se, because there were so many songs we would learn within a month, within the school year. So we had to revisit the Black National Anthem. But I'm like, sir, you trying to get us to revisit it within a week? Like the concert in a few days. So yeah, but we would literally have to get it together. Like, oh, okay, yeah, we need to go over this Black National Anthem. So we would have to learn fast. And then, yeah, I think I talked about this too. When I was in my high school male advanced choir. And the reason why I say advanced is not to even be showy. We literally only had 2 male choirs, which I was in both of them. My freshman year, I was in like the first one, like the beginning one. And then my senior year, I was in an advanced one. So that's why, to differentiate. But yeah, we... the whole school year, so since we had gotten there in August, so for 6 months, in February we had our competition. So we were rehearsing, that whole time, all those 6 months, for our competition show, plus other concerts in between. For whatever reason, we added a song to the set list like 2 days before that we did not know. I'm like, why are we learning a brand new song 2 days before competition, when we've been going over these moves and these lyrics and these notes for 6 months? Luckily did we? I was about to say, did we learn choreography for that song? I don't think we did. So luckily it was just a song we had to learn musically. It wasn't choreographed. So yeah, but it was really hard for me because I had went to the doctor's office the day before, and he tells me I have laryngitis and pharyngitis, which, how do you get both simultaneously? So yeah, the larynx is your voice box. So I basically had a virus or illness that was affecting my voice box. So I didn't have a voice. All I could do is, that's all. Air talk, air sing. So yeah, so I had to learn a song without really being able to sing it. So yeah. And I know you probably asking, well, why would you try to memorize it if you can't sing anyway? Because I had to try to at least produce some sound if I could. I had to memorize the words, because if I couldn't produce anything vocally, I had to at least lip sync. I can't be on stage with the whole choir and then what? I'm not gonna open my mouth. You know what I mean? So I had to, I still had to learn the music. But yeah, so I set out to say, yeah, I can really go on a tangent, huh? That all came from me talking about House of Pain. But yeah, so House of Pain currently is the longest running black sitcom in history, with over 300 episodes and 12 seasons. and they're still in production, about to come back for the 13th season. So, yeah, I know, yeah. So, yeah, I need to give House of Pain their flowers. I mean, even if y'all want to say something like, well, they weren't the longest running sitcom until they came back for the reboot. I mean, and this is no shade or nothing towards the Jeffersons negatively, but the Jeffersons aired for 253 episodes, and then House of Pain aired for 217 episodes, their first round, so they both were 215 episodes over. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So, if it makes you feel any better, the Jeffersons and House of Pain are the longest running sitcoms. Are the longest black running sitcoms in history. But yeah, I mean, I was thinking of this. I was like, I did last volume. I talked about black reality shows. I was like, let's talk about black sitcoms. Let's talk about, the other side of black television, basically. You know what I mean? And scripted as well. But yeah, reality TV, sometimes, it could be a lot. People pretty dramatic and a lot going on. But sitcoms, it's kind of like the opposite. The happier, funnier side of black television. So yeah, this is 25 black sitcoms. So yeah. So thank you for listening to me, because I know this is a long episode, but I tried to get through these 25 black sitcoms as fast as I could. Thought this would be a good topic to talk about and have fun with and share my memories of it, and I just thought it'd be fun. So yeah, and definitely a good way to celebrate Black History Month and Valentine's Day. When you think of favorite, you think of something you love the most or love a lot. So let's talk about, favorite favorite sitcoms on Valentine's Day and during Black History Month. So thank you for listening to Family Talk, and see you next time. Or talk to you next time. She's back. Catch our co-host Brenda back this year on Family Talk for Volume 4, starting this Friday for Part 1 of our 2-part special, 10 Years of Pain.
I think the hardest part for me was not having my child, not able to talk to my child. That was devastating.
There are some things that could have been handled better and differently. I won't speak on because then other people get involved.
I don't know if there's anything that we missed. Can you think of anything?
Oh, yeah, there's a whole lot that we missed. Well, we don't want to get sued for defamation.
I still was able to go to work and take care of my family and my house. And then I had to repair doors and stuff, and they kicked in my windows, and all that had to be replaced. Hey, it's Brenda Sanders.
What's up? It's your boy Luke P. Sanders. Thank you for listening to our podcast, Family Talk. Be sure to follow us at Family Talk Limited Podcast on Facebook.